Hello!
Hello!
Evening.
Woo-woo, we're back!
So is this episode
We're
4?
back, baby!
It's technically episode 4, yeah. We had like a lot of like pre-episodes. Last week, which was episode 3, I feel like technically was first episode, but like
The
we
real
had
episode.
an episode
Yeah,
before
so it's
that
like
where
-1, a 0,
Minus
and then
one,
last week was
0.
1.
Yeah.
This is 2.
No, this is still 4. I'm pretty sure it said it was 4. Because we had...
Yeah, but
I
it's,
think the...
if you were naming... Oh, it's fine. It's fine. This is our 4th episode, but a second episode of the story.
It's our 4th episode, but our 2nd episode of the story. Yes, okay, that's a good way
The
of putting
story
it.
was
Okay,
in
cool.
chapters. This would be chapter 2.
Yes!
You've had
I
the,
agree with that.
prologue and you've had the blurb on the back.
Yeah, 100%. So, previously, what happened to our intrepid adventurers is that they travelled through the portal and they made acquaintances. I say acquaintances. Felix decided to bind Ivor almost immediately, but they soon got over their differences and became best
I'm
of
a cautious
birds.
man.
Caution. You met your deviant AI on your ship, Mrs. Porter, who was really enthusiastic about flamethrowers. Then you arrived on a planet which you discovered was slowly dying. It was what they refer to as their glorious last day. It was their last day of existence before they paved
How
the
we
way.
feasted.
How you feasted. You got yourself
how we
toys.
feasted.
You had drinks.
Deeply.
You had food.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were...
toys.
Yeah, they were dying to pave the way for the very, very future rise of the Horcule Nonpareil. These very scary-looking spaceships that are looming over you in the sky. You discovered that your ship was in the process of being stolen by sort of a resistance group, a rogue group that wanted to leave the planet before it died. You managed to deftly defeat them by using Mrs. Porter's enthusiasm for flamethrowers to your own advantage, and you took with you a member of that resistance whose name is Luke, to show that you're taking notes.
I didn't write her name down. Shit.
You fucking asshole! I was really hoping that you would.
Give it to me.
Wait. It's not...
Come on.
No, that's someone else.
Corner Belnor.
Corner Velnor. Yes, I've got that one. Corner Velnor. Who
Corner
was
Bel-
Pelesh?
Pelesh was the lady that you met on arrival. She was the very enthusiastic sort of like mind what's the word, brainwashed version who was quite happily willing to die.
Yeah, these stuff.
And you defeated the resistance groups, but took a Corner Belnur with you onto your ship and shot off into the sky. You had an opportunity to do the coolest thing in the world, which was Ivor was going to hit a door switch with a ball, with a paddle. But it failed, but you still made your way out. That would have been the best thing ever. There's a deviant timeline out there. We should make an episode in the deviant timeline when that succeeded. But there's like a timeline out there that's glorious. But we still managed to escape. You are now left the planet. You are on the way out of the Horcule Fesh's atmosphere. And Corner Belnur is in your ship. So let's get started, shall we?
Definitely, let's do it.
Yep. Okay. So you shoot yourself away from this planet, and you see all of a sudden like the atmosphere around the planet, like the blue skies suddenly like turn into sort of like gradually darker and darker until you are out in space. And in front of you, you find yourself face to face with a fleet of gold and yellow colored ships of varying sizes. They do not turn or move and stay stationary. Can one of you roll me a notice, please?
Yeah, can I jump on that one? Felix.
Yeah. Sure thing.
All the danger sense and all that, right? Notice we've got +3.
Go for it. You're aiming to beat a 0.
Lovely.
Phil, you roll it as well?
Ooh, +1.
+1, okay. Phil, do you want to...
Are we to roll as well? Yeah.
Yeah, roll it as well. Just see which one of you discovers first. I'm not expecting you not to discover it. I'm just wanting to see who discovers it first.
I'm 3.
Ooh,
3. So,
Felix.
So Felix, because you're sort of like front and center and you are driving the ship, you have like this windscreen and the 2 windows either side of you. You sort of like have a wider viewpoint. Whereas Ivor is let's say that Ivor is concentrating on making sure that Coroner Belnur is safe. Felix, you sort of like follow their eye line and notice that they've still not turned away from the planet, and soon you see why. Looking through your door's window, you see Horcule Fesh slowly crumbling into itself. And as you look over to this planet that is slowly just sort of like growing smaller and smaller and seemingly collapsing in on itself, Ivor and Belnur, Corner, notice it too. Corner approaches the window and places a somber hand on the window, and she just whispers to herself, "My home planet, gone, just like that." The image is almost majestic if you weren't aware of the thousands currently perishing far below you. The planet is taken over entirely by the green fauna covering it before the crust of the planet collapses and the planet falls into itself, leaving a burning hot ball of magma. Enamoured by the scene, you barely notice that the various ships have now turned to face you menacingly. Corner Belnur taps you both on the shoulder and points forward. You now seem to have the undivided attention of the Horcule Nonpareil army. Corner Belnor chimes in. "We need to make it to that Penrose Triangle, and fast."
Uh-oh.
So what I'd like to do, I feel like at this point, Ivor might, knowing the situation that we're in the sense that we are targets now, and with his knowledge of ships, he'll turn to Felix and say, "I can do one of two things. I can work on the shields, or work on the speed, work on the engines."
Okay.
I mean, that's good shout.
We've probably only. Would you say I've got time to only do one?
Yes, let's say you only got one, and let's say the choice is, right, the two of them, you're going to work on the speed. Let's say that the speed gives you an aspect that, like, the engines have been improved, and it'll give you an aspect that you can call upon where you can improve your drive roll. Whereas the shields, let's say the shields will mitigate a damage from a failed, from a shoot roll that they might throw. So say that if they roll a shoot and they hit, then you mitigate that one. Whereas if you do the speed, then you get a bonus to your drive. It's entirely dependent on what you intend to do. And it's entirely your choice.
I would be reluctant to get into a firefight with them, so I think optimum speed is the one to go for.
Tell me his Felix.
I was literally going to say that. How do you verbalize this, Felix?
Well, I say we get out of here as soon as possible. I don't want to get into a firefight with these bastards. I've seen what they can do.
Can I posit a third solution?
Go ahead, Mrs. Porter.
Hello.
Strap some guns to me, big boy. I didn't know you were a mechanic. Strap the biggest armaments to my body and we'll go out in a blaze of glory. Let's go, bros.
We've a conversation to have later down the line, definitely.
Baby. I'm beginning to like you.
Get a fucking room.
Have you seen the size of this van?
I can so envision like a what's it called, a Krieger relationship going on.
Ivor, what are you doing alone in the van? Nothing.
I don't remember there being any problem.
Okay, so you're literally going to bolt it. You are literally going to fucking absolutely like pedal to the metal, go for it. Right. So you have. Wait, I've done the wrong one. There we go. You have a lot of ships ahead of you. Funnily enough, just a quick note: that AI program made this. I just typed in yellow fleet of ships and it gave me this, which is just phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Decent. So I'm gonna be using that a shitload from now on. So ahead of you is these fleet of ships, and they just look menacing at you. Corner Belnor has told you, floor it. You need to get out of here. So because they are so menacing and they are quite proficient with their ships, I'm gonna have you roll a drive, Phil. It's going to be a 2 to beat.
Yeah.
And but you do have the aspect of the engines being worked on. So I imagine that the Ivor just like literally quickly like rummages into like below the steering wheel and just sort of like quickly taps and changes mechanics and maybe like overclocks the engine for a bit, and all of a sudden you hear a coming from your ship like it's like being like upgraded. And roll me, boy. You need to roll a
So
plus.
roll as
Actually,
standard,
you know what? Let's do. I'm thinking 2, right? I'm gonna broach this with you guys. I'm thinking a set 2 because it's a very difficult thing. Or I could have you, like, roll against them. How would you like to do it? Because I do have, like...
why can't it be both? No.
I suppose it will be both.
I think just have the difficulty of it.
Yeah, okay. We'll do
it's
the
kind of like
difficulty
there's a set parameter. If I hit that, then I'm kind of going to make it regardless, as opposed to what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. That's true because they haven't really got like much bearing on how well you drive now. So yeah, go for it.
Quick question is: have our thingy points? Did they reset every single session?
They reset.
You say when we go through a triangle is going to be your...
Yeah, so according to the book, this is the one thing I've slightly changed. According to the book, it says it rechanges every scene, but I'm going to have it rechange every encounter to further like encourage you guys to take losses. So as soon as you get through the portal, as soon as we go to our next encounter, that's when you get them all back.
Okay, I'll roll.
Go for it, buddy. That looks like a straight 3 already.
It's a 3 plus my 2 for drive. So
all right, yeah, 100%. So yeah, so all of a sudden, like this, the ship just shifts into gear, and you literally like are dodging them. So all of a sudden, you see these gigantic ship turn to very, very slowly because you've shot off so fast to try and catch up to you. But you're flying. You are absolutely flying. You're dodging ships left, right, and center. You're weaving in between them, and then suddenly in front of you. You see the Penrose Triangle. I'm assuming that you are heading towards it?
Nah. No, yeah, bomb straight for it. Cool.
Wait. Stop. What does Mrs. Porter say right now? I want her involved.
All she says is... Corner Belno just sort of like is grasping onto the back of your seat and going, excellent driving, excellent, make it, go. And your ship is flying. Just as you're flying towards the ship, a Horcule Nonpareil ship manages to get a shot off. It's going to roll shoot against your physique. Or against your drive. Yeah, let's say drive.
It would be against drive.
I'd say let's say drive. Okay, so they're not. So they've got an average shoot. What's average again? Sorry, guys, because this is the one thing I need to add to this. +1.
+1.
Okay, I've added it there. Okay. So I'm going to this roll +1. It's a 2.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So you got 2 to beat, brothers.
So I'm doing a drive against that. Can I still compel the drive for 4? The faster from 4 or not?
Well, no, because that was what the shield would have done.
Fair enough.
Stunt.
Beans. How about let me play my character and you can play your
character?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah, exactly.
Roll and drive, yeah? 3.
Oh, he does it. So you see just before you go
sorry,
into...
I didn't have as much faith.
Just before you go into the Penrose Triangle, you see like 2 shots fly above your head so close that you can almost feel the heat from the laser blasts. They just go woof, straight past your head, and you sort of like dodge to avoid them instinctively. But suddenly you traverse the Penrose Triangle.
Made it.
Away you go, and you are in the Penrose Triangle. The Penrose Triangle, you are now all too familiar with this strange green energy flying by you. But Corna Belnor isn't. She is utterly terrified. What's going to happen? Will we make it?
We've survived previous encounters with this.
How do these work?
He's completely ignoring her.
Okay.
Well,
He's taking notes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's because you're obsessed with it. I like that. That's excellent.
That's cool.
And you make your way through the Penrose Triangle. Just as a note, in this instance, you get a minor upgrade. So you get a minor milestone, is what they're called. So in a Fate minor milestone, I'll read out the official Minor milestones. So you be mindful though, it might not be the same thing that you think it is. So during a minor milestone, you can choose to do one and only one of the following. Only one of these things, okay? You get a major one after the next one because this one was a fairly quick one. You can switch the rank values of any 2 skills or replace one average skill with one that isn't on your sheet. So essentially, in that bottom row, you can replace one of them or you can swap 2 round that you've already got. That's all you can do. You can change any single stunt for another stunt. Remember, you can only do one of these. You can purchase a new stunt, provided you have the refresh to do so. So you can't go below 1. So you can buy a new stunt at the cost of one of your refresh points. You are going to be refreshing now. Or you can rename one character aspect that isn't your high concept.
Cool.
So if you'd like to take a moment to do that now, you are welcome. Or you can do it after this session. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I might sit on that for a bit. Have a little think.
I'm changing mine now. I know exactly what I'm changing.
Cool. That's ace.
Do you want me to tell you just for your?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna switch out resources for rapport.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that.
I feel like by Felix's natural charm, it slightly emboldened me.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely cool. That's perfect. All right, so yeah, you're traveling through this Penrose Triangle, and Coroner Belnor is quite nervous. She seems to be grasping really tightly onto the seat. And as last time, in the far distance, you see a pinprick exit point. If you remember last time, as you exited, you went into a bit of a tailspin. But you are like going towards that pinprick point at the back. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about? Is there anything that you'd like to say? Any plans you'd like to make at this point? Coroner Belnor asked you, like, what are we going to do? How do these things work?
Well, I've only been through one before in my life, and it took me to your planet. Where this one's going to take us, I've got no idea.
It's my intention to find out.
Dramatic.
Excellent. And so I'm very grateful for the safe passage you're giving me. If you can, all I want is to live safe without the fear of an impending planetary disaster coming.
Any idea where you want
that
to
I can
take
take
it?
safe haven? I'm not familiar with outer space.
Well, listen, look,
if it's my first time.
we don't have a jolly what's going on in this. I mean, we came through this in the first place. I mean, you're asking the wrong people.
If possible, maybe I can stay with you for now until I find a place that I can maybe rest and live the rest of my days.
We can find somewhere that fits that bill, but our priority is keeping ourselves alive and keeping ourselves away from those yellow bastards.
Suddenly, on the subject of those yellow bastards, another 2 shots fly straight above your ship. And as you look in the rearview mirrors, Phil, you take note that 3 Horcule Nonpareil ships are on your tail in the far distance, travelling through the Penrose Triangle just as you are. They seem to be very familiar.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
So we're getting towards the end of, like you say, there's a pinprick sort of escape route.
Yeah, there's a pinprick escape route. Essentially, when you come out of that pinprick, there'll be 3 Horculean spaceships that will come out shortly thereafter. So when you do come out, might be an idea to, I don't know, think of ways to avoid them. And on that, suddenly the pinprick gets closer and closer and closer until you exit the Penrose Triangle. You enter into a wild tailspin once more. Phil, roll me a drive, but this time it's going to be 1. If you remember, it was 2 last time. We'll make it a 1 this time because it's getting a bit easier for you.
Cool.
You got a 1.
A 3.
Matched it.
Plus my drive, so 3.
So this time you anticipate the tailspin and you sort of like turn the other way and you manage to sort of right yourself, which has earned you valuable time. You come out.
Roll with it.
lean in.
Stay on target.
Miss, you hear Miss Porter of the Tannoy.
I was kind of looking forward to the spinny bit.
But you come out and all you see is the vastness of space, interrupted by a gigantic mega ship. Give me 1 second.
So did you say our aspect refresh now? So current goes back up to our
Yes,
refresh
yes.
rate.
Your aspect refresh to your refresh rate. Yes. And if you want to change the minor milestone, you get a major one next. But this one's a minor one, just to sort of like, just to stick with our characters as is for now.
Just a little reminder as well. I've still got carrying a wound from our fight on the last planet.
Oh yes, okay. So yeah, you are. You've got a puncture wound in your shoulder. So like you might be like clutching. Had I remembered that, I would have fucking given you a penalty to drive.
Impeding
you
my driving skills.
Sneaky boy.
I'm reminding you now.
Would it be possible? So. No, because it's not relevant to the situation. It wouldn't happen like this. It'd be fine in D&D for me to be like, yeah, can I cauterize his wound? But we're in like a crisis situation where I don't think we'll be paying attention to that.
And I think it narratively is funnier coming up. So if we keep that wound just for a little bit, then we'll be all right. So you find yourself in front of an absurdly large domed megaship. The upper half of the dome seems to be on the upper half of the dome. There seems to be a bright LCD advertisement for a product referred to as Madame Grayzel's opulent flavour balls. An elderly lady stands smiling, carrying a tray of piping hot pink flavour balls that look absolutely delicious. You notice an
Who's
open
Madame what? Madame what?
Madame Grayzel's opulent flavour balls. You notice an open port on the large dome's underside. Give me 1 second.
I turn to Felix and say, I must have them.
So yeah, that's just a mock-up I've made up. But Madame Grayzel's opulent flavour balls, there's just a massive screen with like an old lady carrying these pink balls. And there's, as you can see there's an open port just sort of like summoning you in. Remember, the Horcule Nonpareil are on your tail.
This seems like a really good place to hide.
Seems like a really good place to eat.
I love the way you think.
Not any food since that feast.
That was so long ago. Oops.
And I couldn't agree more.
That was so long ago, yeah. So you navigate the ship expertly, Felix, towards that open port, and you come in, and it's fairly barren. It's a large open port, like where ships would come and go normally. And as you near it, the autopilot sort of like sucks you in as normal, and then you come to a landing. Again, no one comes on your comms to ask you who it is or whatever, but you come to a safe landing, and as you do, a very stern, tall lady with pink flesh meanders over with two guards either side of her towards your ship. She stands there as if waiting for your exit.
There's a woman outside. Two guards.
Well, we're here now. May as well play nice. After you.
Ivor kind of, I suppose he steps off the ship, but like very pink faced, like, hello.
Good, I requisitioned you days ago. I assume you're the mechanics here to fix my exhaust systems?
Yes.
I step off and ruffle my hair a bit and just try and blend in.
What's happened to you? And she notices the wound on your shoulder.
Last job. That's why we're running late. I injured myself on the last job.
I think that's a roll, Philly. Deceive, is it not?
Sure thing.
Deceive against her, what would you say?
Empathy.
Yeah, I'd say empathy as well. Okay, so she is not known for her empathy, so this is just a straight roll by me.
It's a 1. I got fair deceive. Come on, Philly's dice. Oh.
It's a 2.
Plus 2, that's a 4.
She was right. Well, hopefully you won't get into that much trouble on this job.
Also, I just don't suppose you've got any medical supplies to help me out with this one, so I can do the job. Do the job faster for you.
We'll have a look in the office later. You are tremendously late.
Again, the injury. I'm very sorry, but we'll make up for the last time.
Well, come on then. You might as well show you around. and she turns on her heels and just sort of makes her way to the door. She before she gets to the door, she turns back to you and goes, "Wink Grayzell, by the way. Pleasure to meet you." And the doors in front of her open.
Likewise.
And she makes her way through to the next room, the large domed structure. And you're stood beside your ship, Corna Belnur, having tucked herself inside the ship, hiding.
Didn't fancy a trip.
She sort of like whispers to you, maybe I sit this one out.
What have I just missed? Sorry, I missed that.
Corna Belnur is essentially staying in the ship.
Okay.
She goes, I'll stay this one out. I'll tidy up around here and maybe make a space for myself, if that's okay.
Yeah, and don't pay too much attention to Mrs. Porter. She gets a bit excited.
So if you just tell her where the flamethrower buttons are, and we'll be set.
That won't be necessary. Deactivate flamethrower.
Ivor just sort of leans across to Felix and says, "She is a wonderfully valuable asset. Are we okay just leaving her? Is there any way we can bring her with us?"
Porter? No, she's staying here. She looks after the ship.
Have we got a way to be in contact with?
I've got a means of saying hello to her as long as we're in range.
Yeah, let's say you got a comms device connected to your ship's AI just in case you were in trouble. I'm in for that.
Like a wristwatch type thing, but yeah, maybe there's like a limited range on it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in for that. Right. So Wink Grayzell has navigated through this now open door into the large dome structure beyond this entry port. Would you like to follow her?
Yeah.
We'll play along.
I feel like it'd be rude not to.
Just standing there for the rest of the session. No, we stay here. Being led into the factory floor, you're overwhelmed by a strange image. Floating across the entire innards of the domed ship are small, see-through pods. Inside, there are exact copies of the same elderly lady seen on the LCD screen, tirelessly working away at what looks like a strange, old-fashioned kitchen worktop. You focus in on one of the pods. The elderly lady mixes up various strange concoctions in a bowl, puts them on a strange pink flame, and adds a final sprinkling of a strange spice. Suddenly, in a puff of smoke, her meal seems to be done. She's elated. She places the small ball-like food onto a tray and takes a bite out of one. Her face contorts into one of absolute ecstasy. You can see that whatever she has created seems to absolutely delight her. As she opens her mouth to take a second bite, robotic arms jut out of the wall and grab the balls. The elderly lady looks around, dumbfounded, before she and her entire kitchen scenario fall downwards through the hole that suddenly appeared below them. The elderly lady falls out of view, behind the ledge in front of you. You peer forward, but she seems to have disappeared down a large, exhaust-like structure far below you. Looking back up to where you expect to see an empty pod, you now see a strange machine, pouring out a jelly-like substance that forms into an exact copy of the elderly lady from earlier, who promptly goes about mixing her ingredients once more. To ensure, Wink Grayzell suddenly chimes in. To ensure the quality of our product, every flavour ball is made so that it tastes just like the first. We clone and recalibrate every memory and ingredient Madame Grayzell had upon the creation of her flavour balls. We then take those balls, wrap them up, and ship them far and wide across the known universe. Every pod generates around 3 untouched flavour balls a minute, and we currently have over 500,000 pods generating that amount. As you can see, our output is phenomenal, and the quality of our product has not diminished since day one.
Dude, just on a sidebar, love the high concept sci-fi, beautiful, love it, absolutely love it.
Hello, Roberts, ladies and gentlemen.
It's what I do. It's what I do. And then, so she sort of just does that. Any questions?
What happens to the old camera's going? What happens to the old lady?
The clones are incinerated.
What?
Before they are produced once more anew.
Is that a humane practice?
I have no regards for humanity, and as I said, they are just clones. They are not Madame Grayzell. Madame Grayzell perished in my arms years ago. They are merely clones, only given the memories necessary to provide us with the opulent flavour balls that we require.
And do you think Madame Grayzell would approve of this continuation of her legacy?
She should. She's the one that initiated it.
Ah. She wanted to keep her. She was that desperate to keep her flavour balls going?
She was indeed. And she was very conscious of waste and energy waste in particular. The clones, being burnt by the exhausts, provide the energy for the ship to stay afloat. It is a completely carbon neutral operation.
I mean, that seems legit, Felix. I mean, let's not ask any more questions.
Well,
how about you? Because I can't work on an empty stomach. I mean, if we could have some flavour balls, I think it would really, really help us.
Of course, samples will be provided. I get asked that question a lot. It is part of the tour, in fact.
Fantastic. Pats Felix on the back. It's like,
well, as long as we get to try them, I mean, it seems a waste.
I feel like this is like a love story of Felix and Ivor's food journey around the galaxy.
This is just like you guys going on a food journey of space. I was going to say, yeah, 100%.
When's the brewery?
You're just going to go tour on factories now. As you speak,
eventually we need to stop and open our own restaurant.
As you speak, suddenly you hear a large, strange churning noise, and the lights around you begin to flicker before everything remains, resumes as normal. You look up towards the thousands of pods floating above you, and all seems fine except one pod, where the Madame Grayzell clone seems to be furiously banging on the exterior of the pod, tears streaming in her eyes. Wink Grayzell whispers into the microphone on her mechanized bracelet, "Incinerate pod E4232. The pod is suddenly engulfed in flames before the all too familiar machine pours out a jelly-like substance that forms into a Madame Grayzell once more, who this time happily continues to cook. Wink Grayzell intervenes. As you can see, we're having some strange machine issues of late. Our exhaust pipes seem to stop for a brief moment, causing the power to switch. This would not normally be an issue, but it causes our clones to inhabit strange behaviours, impeding our production. If possible, we'd like you to seek out and rectify this issue. We cannot be seen to be losing production.
Mate, you've gone quiet.
Me? Hello?
Yeah, try again.
Hello? Yeah.
If possible,
if possible, we'd like you to seek out and rectify this issue. We cannot be seen to be losing production, particularly when the board have to visit us soon.
Okay.
Big operation, yeah. If you want to get it back up and running, I guess.
Absolutely.
How's the distribution on this thing?
Distribution? What do you mean?
Do you have decent distribution facilities, or do people come to you to pick it up?
We have large freights that ship out opulent balls quite regularly. You caught us on a bit of a quiet morning, but normally in the evenings our ports are absolutely filled to the brim with vessels that carry them to and fro the known universe.
It's a big operation.
Very big, yes. We had record profits in the previous year, and the board wants to visit just to make sure that everything is tip-top. And that's where you come in. I need things to be tip-top. Can I trust you to do that?
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, we lost the... Oh, sorry. I'll just carry on conflict. We lost the paperwork a little while ago. Can you remind me of what terms we signed up on?
If you're referring to payment, it will be generous and prompt. As you can see, we have a lot of output, which leads to a lot of capital. Payment is not an issue.
Ivor just leans in and says, "Please, can I see the work order?"
Of course. Let me take you through to the offices. Although a copy of the work order should have been sent to you.
Again, we lost the paperwork. I'm sorry. We don't mean to be unprofessional, but there was a few issues.
Is that a roll there, Philly?
I can roll.
I've got no empathy. I've got a -1.
So don't for deceive, is it?
Yes.
plus 2. This is a 2.
0. That's okay. That's great. Okay, so she believes you. Luke, I feel like you're getting something from asking for the work order, so I think that you should also roll for that question, and we'll walk it back a bit. So let's go for rapport. So let's go for a rapport roll against my empathy.
Rapport. Can I word the question so that I can roll empathy?
How would it be empathy?
So, okay, so I turn to our friend Wink Grazel and say, so my supervisor here, whilst fantastic and knowing and does a fantastic job at what he does, I'll be the one that will be directly repairing, and I need to know, just in paper in front of me, exactly what it is that you've put it down that needs to be addressed. Because, I mean, if there is any other issues that arise, you know, I don't want you to be in a position where you are being underhanded. If I fix it now and it breaks later down the line, maybe I can work with you to make sure that doesn't happen and nobody ever tries to sort of swindle you in the future.
The description of rapport is the rapport skill is about making positive connections to people and eliciting positive emotion.
Oh, you fucker, that's fair.
Whereas, like I think we
empathy,
need to,
we
really need to figure out this empathy, because empathy involves knowing and being able to spot changes in a person's mood or bearing. It's basically the emotional notice skill. So I think going forward, I think empathy is like more about noticing if someone's lying rather than like eliciting empathy from someone. I think eliciting empathy from someone is a rapport. So yeah, go for it. And it kind of suits that.
I was trying to manipulate her emotional state, because obviously she's got a vested interest in everything that's going on. Come on, man, she's a Grazel, of course. She's got a vested interest.
I feel like in like chatting scenarios, and this is good to set now because like going forward, I think in chatting scenarios you're either deceiving or rapport. Your deceit is like the negative one, where Felix seems to do a lot, where he tries to lie. Whereas like rapport is the one where you're trying to go like, come on, mate, give it to me. And I think
is it though? Because empathy in the word to empathize, it's not just noticing emotions. It's being able to sympathize and to be able to develop trust and sort of open someone to deeper aspects of discussion. Empathy, it's not just as simple as rapport building. I don't think so. I mean, in this situation, I think you're right. Yeah, I do agree in this situation.
Like empathy going forward though, so in this instance you're trying to create an advantage, right? Which is that for you to get this works order, you can use empathy to read a person's emotional state and get a general sense of who they are, presuming you have a sense of kind of interpersonal contact with them. Most often you'll use this to assess the aspects on another character's sheet, but sometimes you'll also be able to create new aspects, especially on NPCs. If the target has some reason to be aware that you're trying to read them, they can defend with deceive or rapport. So I think like empathy in regards to the game, I understand like empathize as a word, but empathy in terms of a game is you like kind of like reading someone's emotional state and being able to like create aspects from that. So like if she was like, let's say that instead of the way you worded it, you kind of like, I don't know, like maybe figured something out about her, how like she's money hungry, then maybe you could have evoked an aspect, like created an aspect where like you know that she's like scared of losses in profit, and as such you could have used that to get the works order to try and sort of like.
That's fine.
But for now, let's do
now
rapport.
though, it's a rapport roll. I agree with it being a rapport roll.
Cool. She's gonna go with a, I suppose an empathy again.
What? Sorry.
Empathy.
Yeah, she's gonna go for empathy. Yeah, so she has a straight 0 on this, so she gets a 2. Actually, she does well for herself.
You got +1, Luke. I'll give you now.
I've got a 1, mate.
Got it. She goes. She quite stern faced goes. The works order should be sent to you. I have no time.
Do you know what? I'm just going to turn
reiterate.
around and be a dick and say, I'm sorry, look, if you want me to do this job, get me the work order.
So
You lost a roll, buddy.
yeah,
I know,
no.
but I don't see why.
In this game, it's not a straight.
It's
Not narratively. It's not. It doesn't have to be a loss. It could be something that is like happens, like something that is untoward. To like it's a less advantageous success. So let's figure that out, right? So since you failed the roll to a certain degree, let's give you the work order.
Phil succeeded it. Phil succeeded. If I failed and Phil succeeded, where's the middle ground?
Well, Phil succeeded on convincing her that you lost the work order, but you didn't. You failed in. You didn't necessarily fail. I'm giving you the works order. Let's give you the works order, but let's figure out like a thing that can happen.
Mixed success type thing.
A mixed success sort of jobby.
Mixed success. Okay.
So let's say you get the works order, but she doesn't you don't have time to get Phil bandaged up.
Maybe she's saying you don't have enough. So yeah. You got the works order, but
she's like kind of
doing double speed sort of thing.
Yeah, she just wants to like get you to work straight away. So she's like, all right, you get the works order, but I have no time to patch up your friend, and you guys get sent off away. How's that?
Okay.
Does Felix? Do you even need to be here?
I don't know. You tell me, buddy. I mean, you may as well safety.
Do you know what? An assistant will.
Have you said anything about
Will be
assistant?
helpful.
You just chill it.
Do you know how to fix a spaceship?
Yeah.
Cool.
You know how to
So,
pick up a tool? Then what do you need
If
me for?
I'm deep in there,
We'll see.
So she quite frustrated, going, fine, I'll get you the works order, let's go. And she sort of walks away with her two guards toward it's like a gangway that encircles this massive exhaust system at the bottom, and all these pods are floating above. So she carries on down the gangway to where there's a door, and a mechanized door that leads to offices, just loads of offices with loads of workers just typing away on computers. And she navigates in there. You're following close behind, and she goes, Kisbor, print me the works order for the mechanics. And Kismore looks all nervous, and she starts typing away on her computer and quickly prints off a works order and hands it to you. Ivor, you now have a works order.
can I? Who has signed the work order? As in, who was she expecting?
Who she was expecting? She wasn't expecting. She sent a requisition order to a company called Atlas Mechanics that essentially just agreed to the contract and essentially signed on the dotted line at the bottom saying for two mechanics to be sent to Madame Grayzel's megaship post haste.
Okay, that sounds somewhat reasonable. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm just fiddling with a lamp. Because it's super dark where I am.
You're my lampy boy.
Oh, there we go.
And she walks you through the office building. So as you're working, Ivor, you seem to be sort of like head down on this works order. You see that it's from Atlas Mechanics, and it was just a requisition order for 2 mechanics. You see that it's a 1 million credit contract, and you, as a space mechanic yourself, know that that's a hefty amount of credits. That is normally you would work for 30,000 credits. So it is over triple what you would normally earn.
This is a big deal
for a job. Like, for example, the job that you started this campaign with was a 30,000 credit job. So you're like kind of salivated. You're like, holy shit, they really want this fixed.
Money.
Wink Grayzel walks you through the offices and goes, this is the brain center of the operation. Almost everything runs through here. These are the offices. As you can see, I've got a very dedicated, very large workforce. They have facilities here on the ship, and they work for me straight 5 days a week, and then they are allowed time to go home to their home planet, which is nearby, not a couple of light years away. And then they return. We do not work weekends, but this is the nerve center of the operation. Everything goes through here, from the creation and distribution of the creation jelly, as well as the fine-tuning of the clones themselves, as well as ensuring that all the kitchen facilities across all 300,000 pods are catered for, and the incineration and refueling of the ship all go through this nerve center. And then she carries on walking through the offices, and then as you sort of like walk through the offices, you notice that it gets less and less busy. There's less and less tables, and it gets a bit like, as you go further along the walkway, there's less and less people, less and less things, until at the very, very far end, you come through another mechanized door, which just leads to a gigantic ironclad door that is sealed shut. And she goes, "This is the door to the exhaust systems. We do not let much people go down there, as it is imperative that the ship stay afloat, so we do not want any tampering or any fiddling outside of professional hands, and that's where you come in. You will be going down into the exhaust systems, hopefully figuring out the cause of our strange power issues and rectifying them. And as such, I shall pay you the million credits that we agreed upon. Are you ready, or do you require any sort of provisions before we start?"
Do you have any compression suits available? Standard issue. In
She
maintenance
just
areas.
See, you're getting something again. Rapport me, bro.
Pardon?
Rapport me.
Okay, right.
I got.
This is something that I want to discuss. Right, something that is standard. Should it always be rolled for? And maybe or not. So my idea with compression suits is, where I'm going with this is that if there is any kind of rupture in the system, if there's a leak, me and my supervisor there's a potential for death, really, which I'd like to avoid. So these compression suits will allow us to traverse. They might even not need them, but you don't know what the problem is. So It's just a precaution to be safe. Like, if it's safety and she desperately wants this to be fixed, I don't see why that would be a difficult thing to obtain.
The way I think of it is that one of the roles is create an advantage, and a compression suit is an advantage against.
True, but this feels a bit back to the D&D side of it.
But I guess...
So say if it's a dangerous, like, he's a space mechanic. Let's say he knows exactly what he's talking about. And if he knows what kind of resources you would need on a job like this to stop death, I don't think it would be a silly request.
No, invoke an aspect then. That's when you invoke an aspect.
Perfect. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to invoke space mechanic then.
Cool. Invoke space mechanic. So you get +2 to the rapport roll you just roll now. Because the way I think about it, right? And if you think that you really want these compression suits, I still think that because it's a creative advantage roll, that it should be a roll. But the advantage of fate is it's not necessarily a yes or no. It's not a you fail to roll so you don't get compression suits. It's a let's make this interesting. So because you failed the roll, let's say she gives you compression suits, but because not many people go down there, they're like of a poor quality, or one of them is like of less quality than the other, or she only has one.
Yeah.
Like that's the branching timelines in this one. It's less.
Yeah, that's fair. I get.
You know what I mean? So, but now you got an aspect now. So
it's stepping out of this D&D.
Yeah,
it's so
it is
hard
100%.
not
100%.
to like.
I agree.
When you're playing the character, it's so hard not to see it as a branch and play it as the character. But because obviously we don't live in the future. I don't know what would necessarily be a real life.
No. And I just want to make more use of the mechanics at hand. And the thing is that invoking an aspect is perfect in this instance because, as you said, you know exactly what you need. So this is perfect example of how you, as a space cadet or space mechanic, can Use a space cadet.
I'm
Space
just going
mechanic.
to change it to space cadet.
You as a space mechanic would know what you need, and
Yeah.
that's where you invoke this aspect. So you're going to roll a report with a +2 now, and I'm going to roll. I've already rolled mine, which was a -1. So you got a -1 to beat. And you get.
I've got -1, but
+2.
+2, so +2. Well, it's +3, isn't it? Because my rapport is +1 anyway.
Yeah. So it's +3.
Okay.
So she quickly clicks her fingers, and then one of the guards just rushes away and comes back with pristine compression suits. The air systems down in the exhaust systems should be working order, but I like a man who's cautious. So here you go. Here are your compression suits, and you get handed compression suits. You now have a compression suit. So let's give you. Make sure you write that down in your character sheets that you got compression suits, because we might invoke them as aspects later on. Because remember, you can invoke items as aspects. So if something happens where air will go low, you'd invoke an aspect with your compression suit to not have to fucking die.
See, Philly, I'm mostly thinking of you because I've already got systems built into the suit that I'm wearing anyway.
Oh yeah, you got your skulls, I mean.
Where you have not.
Do you want it to just be for your friend then? Do you want Phil just to have the compression suit and we just use your exoskeleton as a compression suit thingy?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Because I think if I put it over it, it'd probably be too clunky because it's already quite clunky.
We'll rework it so that you asked for one for your friend, and then you guys. And then Wink Grayzell goes, "Are you ready to descend into the exhaust systems?"
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sure. She scans a key card. Beep. She presses some buttons into a keypad. Beep boop beep boop 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 boop. A little robot comes out and scans her eye, and she licks a little ball. Tongue impression taken, and then the door opens up, and beyond is nothing but darkness, just pitch black. And she hands you both torches. And she goes, unfortunately, as a cost-saving measure, we did not install lights down below because we had very little intention for anyone to go down there. We were assured that these exhaust systems could last us 1,000 years, but, sod's law and all that. So here's your torches, and you are free to descend. The door in front of you is open. Wink Grayzell stands firm, though. She is not going with you.
So... Ivor, do you think it's a bit strange that these things out of action, it was supposed to have lasted so long? What do you think could have interfered with it?
If I'm honest with you, sabotage. Between you and I.
Sabotage, yeah.
Granny biscuit ball makers. We didn't get our balls, man.
That's a good point. Excuse me.
Balls will be given after the exhaust is fixed. No balls till later for you boys. My boys get balls later.
I honestly think it's sabotage.
Why do you think that? Let's hit out the facts, because we're coming to the end of the episode at the moment. So let's see where your headspace is right now.
Well, the grannies.
What do you know?
The pods are breaking. We know the pods are breaking. We know that the grannies don't want to die.
Pods are breaking?
We know all the malfunctioning.
Yeah, there's a power outage every once in a while that causes the power to shut her off, and it causes the clones to behave sort of erratically. Yep.
I wonder though whether it could be one of two things. It could be maybe a humanitarian terrorist group trying to stop all the granny death, or equally, it could possibly be maybe financial market competitors.
The board are arriving soon, so it would make sense for them to want to...
The board are arriving soon, yes. So this would be the perfect time to sabotage the production line.
It could be a more rudimentary thing. That could just be pest problems, some sort of gremlins or giant space rodents running around and ripping the shit out of generators.
It is strange as well that at the moment you arrived, as Phil sort of leant on it slightly, that there was no ships coming and going for such a vast mass production.
Yeah, about
Nice.
She did. She
the,
did like write that off as like
the distribution stuff. Yeah.
distribution stuff. Yeah, she did sort of like write that off as a like, oh, it's early morning, but you know, you'd expect like a factory of this magnitude to have like regular ships coming and going.
Ivor just turns to Felix and says, "However, between you and I, 1 million credits is a lot of money.
Oh, I heard it.
We could do a lot of good with 1 million credits. There are so many facets of space of cultures out there that operate completely different and out of bounds to what the regular human might consider, I don't know, what compromised moral standards, but who are we to judge?"
You think a payday's a payday?
I may or may not be saying.
I say we just be careful. We'll try and get down there, see what's going on. We'll take it from there.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say no to
You're
me.
the boss. You're the boss.
So yeah, this dark, vast exhaust system is ahead of you. There's stairs that just lead very, very far down, and I assume you navigate them.
Yes, but
So-
no. I like to think that just for canon, I like to think that Ivor has kind of like, not in the literal sense, not full Chewbacca, but he's very grateful that you got him out of space. We're talking not full on life debt, but he's very grateful that you pulled him out of the ether. So he's kind of taking your lead where it
Cool.
matters.
I should not betray this trust you have placed in me.
I'll know.
So yeah, you descend.
Stairs.
I assume you descend the long staircase downwards, and you take note that it seems to be sort of like spiraling around, and it seems to spiral and spiral and spiral for what seems like eons until you finally reach a bottom floor. It's very mechanized, kind of looks like sort of ventilation systems, loads of like really hot tubing jutting all over the place, and it's completely like, it looks old metal in comparison to the sort of like pristine white sheet metal that you saw at the top. And you begin to navigate it. Your torches just sort of like vaguely scanning the rooms, and you meander down the corridors, and Ivor, you get a little tingle. Feel
it in my fingers.
You get a little
Feel it in my bones.
little danger sense.
Little danger sense. I'm really, really grateful how you've done that with the danger sense
And
there.
because of your heightened danger sense, you know to sort of like, you quickly turn around on your heels and like point a torch, and you don't see anything. But what you do see is like what looked like a very quick shadow that seems to sort of just completely like you catch it, and the shadow just goes away, and then
Like
you
Okay. This is perfect. So I have analytics goggles, kind of like the Predator mask. So
Okay.
I can see things in infrared. I can see heat. I can see night.
Okay, cool.
Can I invoke my goggles to detect?
Yes.
I love this game already.
You invoke an aspect which is still just a +2, so I'll get you to roll notice.
Okay.
I am going to roll against you.
Yeah. For stealth off. Lovely.
Yeah, I've got a +1 for stealth, so it's this +1. Holy shit, bro! Beat that motherfucker! It's a 4.
What did you get?
I got a 4.
Fucking hell.
It's a good thing you invoked that
Okay.
aspect.
I know. Oh my gosh.
What are you gonna roll?
Right, let's go. So.
Can I ask a question before you carry on as well, though?
Go on.
Goggles. Is it a simultaneous? Is it a simultaneous thing, or is it a one or the other, sort of like a flicking of a? So you got UV or night vision, or infrared, say. Or is it like a heightened vision, sort of like one on off?
I feel like it would be something I have to switch. Let's be realistic about it.
So before you roll, tell me what you're switching to. And it'll change.
Not switching to heat. I'm not switching to heat because there's going to be heat everywhere. Let's be realistic. And I feel like he would know that. I feel like infrared would be the best because I will pick up anything in the dark. I mean, obviously night vision as well, but with infrared, I'll be able to see bodies and shapes. I'll be able to see a lot more with infrared.
Cool. Go for it. Infrared, roll it. Beat a 4, bitch. Oh, that's a 0.
Nope.
Plus.
But I've got +5.
Oh! Right. So you're walking down this corridor, and all of a sudden you get this feeling in your thing, and you press a button on the side of your goggles and turn around, and your heat vision detects a strange scuttling creature that looks humanoid in nature, that seems to utterly vanish as soon as it collides with a wall. And you walk up to where it collided with the wall, and you notice at the bottom of the wall a very small vent.
Dude, something's in here. It's gone through there. It knows we're here.
Can I remind you that there's an investigation function in this game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was gone.
I'm just making him aware of this situation. There's an investigation, isn't it? Is it one of the skills?
One of the skills is investigate.
I don't have investigate.
We got 1 point.
Nice.
Counterpart's notice.
So I quite like the distribution of roles where Luke's gone like went that way, and then Phil goes up and sort of like investigates further. So Phil, can you roll me an investigate since you got a +1 in it already?
With pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first failed roll of the evening. I can sense it. -1 +1, so 0.
0. Okay, yeah. So you flash your flashlight down the vent, and you don't see much. So like you flash it down, and it just seems like a normal vent going through, and you don't really get anything unless you want to invoke an aspect or stun. Aspects can be used to re-roll as well as add 2.
Well,
you rolled a 0. What's power deduction?
As a stunt.
Oh yeah, make a special investigate roll.
So once per scene, you can spend a fate point and a few minutes of observation to make a special investigate roll representing your potent deductive faculties. For each shift you make on this roll, you discover or create an aspect on either the scene or the target of your observations, though you may only invoke one of them for free.
That's very cool. Very cool. But it's just a investigate roll. It's you've already done your investigate roll, and that was a 0.
I could make a special investigate roll.
Since it is a stun, let's give it to you. Roll again.
Nah,
Evil says, "Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees.
Just get in there.
You're closer, damn it!"
Yeah, so I'd be like, "Are you sure you saw something?" And then you'd be like a bit more adamant. And
go for it. Go for it. Power
Ivor just crouches and goes, "Newt."
I'm gonna make it a 1. It's a 1, by the way, so you weren't too far off.
It's 1.
Oh, okay, so it's a match. That's fine. So, like, essentially, it's for every shift you make on this roll, you discover or create an aspect, or either the scene or the target of your investigations. Though you mainly only invoke one for free. There is no shift, right? So you can't really invoke an aspect. You can't really use that aspect going forward. But I will tell you that one thing you do take note of is a moistness to the vent. There seems to be a strange substance sort of like dripping from like the slots. Like a
residue?
Like a residue.
Ivor turns to Felix and says, "It's a rogue granny. 100%.
Fair enough.
That's
an assumption you're making?
That's an assumption that I'm making. It's a rogue
why,
granny.
I'll wipe a finger across the vent. Right. It's fresh.
So
I don't
yeah,
feel
so
so
there's a strange sort of like gloopy substance on the vent, and that's how that yeah, and that's all you've gotten from that scene essentially.
Is it reminiscent
And-
of the gloop from the vats we saw earlier, or is it too soon to tell?
It's too soon to tell. It's a very small amount. It is very too soon to tell.
I just turn to Felix and say, "Okay, let's continue, but be wary."
Absolutely. And you continue.
Oh, I'm always wary.
And you are wary. And as you continue, you feel it. What's your orientation? Is it like both of you side by side, or is like one taking point?
Probably struggling to both be taking the back. We're both like going in circles around each other to be the one who's more cautious. No, I'm the cautious one. No, I'm the cautious one.
I feel like
up the stairs.
Ivor will probably be in the front because obviously he's looking at this, but obviously this is a job, and he's got to be well aware of spotting any damage because that's what we're here to do. And obviously it's dangerous situation, so I feel like he'll be quite laser focused at the front, maybe making sure it's safe.
That's fair. Just a note as well that this scene has an aspect of darkness, so without your torches, that aspect would make you like have negative implications on your rolls. So you're walking along, Ivor in front, and your danger sense doesn't necessarily go off, Ivor, but your foot suddenly collides with something on the floor. And looking downwards, you see a corpse lying prone on the ground in a compression suit.
Lovely.
The compression suit does not look like one of yours. It's not similar to one of the ones that you were given.
It's not got the Mama branding on it.
So, just turns around to Felix and says, "Gross, so gross."
Who do you think it is?
No, should we look? Let's all look.
Stephen
I'll tell you what.
Thompson.
Let's rock, paper, scissors. Who opens the suit?
Very well.
Ready? Fist
What?
in the centre.
Okay, go on. Go do your rope.
Are we in? You got me? Yeah.
Yeah, ready.
So on 3 or?
Go do your rope.
Are we in? You got me? Yeah.
Yeah, ready.
So on 3 or after 3?
After 3, you ready?
So 1.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Oh
Hey!
my god.
Again, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Oh,
Oh, Luke
well done,
Williams.
Fletcher.
Enjoy.
Schemed me. So I'm going. I thought you wanted to do it.
Oh no, this is who has to do it. It's you, boy. It's you, my sir.
Oh, very well. I'll pinch my nose and get in there.
Okay, so yeah, you sort of lean downwards to this very putrid, sort of like almost skeleton corpse. It looks like it's been there for a long while. That's your first estimate. And you begin opening the compressor suit. As you open it, just sort of like a plume of dust just comes out of it. And roll me a notice, mate.
Notice with pleasure.
It's a 0. It's a fairly easy notice.
1.
Never mind. 1. Oh, you got
Sorry,
1.
got 3 notice. So.
Oh, that's all right. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, you rolled a 1. So you open this compression suit and open it, and a plume of smoke comes out, and you thanks Phil. The only thing you notice is that there's he seems to be wearing like a pristine white polo shirt with a logo emblazoned on its chest. The logo is for Atlas Mechanics.
Rat roll.
Intrigue. I love it.
That's us, guys. Wait.
Is there anything around him? Any
He's
tools,
got
boxes?
Yeah, he's got tools. He's got tools that you would expect a mechanic to have. So whatever you decide those are, you could have them. He has doesn't have an exoskeleton, just has the compression suit, and he's pretty much skeletal in nature. Inside his pocket, Felix, take note that he has the same requisition form that you guys managed to find earlier. it is a complete duplicate, almost exactly the same.
Is there a date on it that we can compare to? I don't necessarily know the dates in this area, but is there a date we can compare to ours?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a date on it. The date is from a month ago.
I mean, we know it's not us. If we're talking wibbly wobbly timey wimey, because
Oh, that'd be so cool. Oh, I wish I thought of that now. That is like you.
There's only one of them.
You. He has a label saying Felix. No, it's not. Yeah, the requisition form is from a month, but this corpse is aged.
Aged. Okay.
Aged.
More than a
Maybe
month.
they just lost him. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he lived down here. He's got a compression suit on, though.
With a form that was from a month ago.
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. Leave me alone. Fucking go get off my back, bro. And I think
with my hands, not with my mind.
and I think we'll leave it there. I think that's a very interesting point to leave it on. Intrigue for you guys to think about.
I like that.
Is it? Are we better? Yeah. Do you want to leave it there? Have you got time? I don't got time.
No, we're leaving it there, mate. Felix, whilst we have you though, just as a last minute thing, have you got any ideas of what your minor milestone, or do you want to sort of like sit on them as well for a bit? We can always.
I'll have a little think. I'll probably do is I might tweak my skills a little bit, but I'm just going to do a quick more investigation into the breakdown of the skills.
That's fair. Absolutely. All right. So join us next time for Infinitesimal, where we find out how our intrepid heroes are going to solve this one, the strange mystery of what is happening on Madame Grey's Owl's
Felix.
opulent flavour balls. And the question that's on all our minds: will the boys get their balls?
Will the boys get paid?
$1 million balls.
$1 million balls. I'll take it in balls, please.